Time we had 4 blood moons on Jewish feast days was 1966 and 1967, which was also a Shemitah year and a year of Jubilee. 49 years later, according to the biblical standard, is 2015. We've got blood moons happening now. We've got solar eclipses happening on March the 20th, which is the civil new year of the Jewish calendar, and September 13th on the Feast of Trumpets, which is the religious new year. Remember what this said. It's the birthday of the world. It's the first day of creation. So why wouldn't their New Year's be on this day? Understand? I'm seeing a lot of deer eyes. Okay. Now, Revelation chapter 11, please. Miss, if you could, ma'am, please.
Sorry, I was taking notes and listening.
That's okay. Take your time.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 2, right? Yep. But leave out the court which is outside the temple, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the Gentiles, and they will tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months.
They will tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months. Now there is another amount of time given later on in the verse. Go ahead, keep reading.
Okay. Verse 3, and I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy 1,260 days.
1,260 days. I'm not looking to teach these 2 particular verses. What I'm looking for here is pattern. I'm trying to see a pattern here. So now 42 months, 1,260 days is 3.5 years. Okay? Now, if I were to come to you and say, Joe, I need you to give me 100 pennies, 10 dimes, 20 nickels, or 4 quarters. What am I asking you for? $1. Who said that? Gloria. Thank you, Gloria. So, 100 pennies, 10 dimes, 20 nickels, 4 quarters. It's different increments of the same amount of money. When I'm saying it as an example, you have 1,260 days, 42 months, or 3.5 years. But what's interesting about that is that a biblical standard for a year is not 365 days. It's 360. Now that's what we just read. Check Revelation 11. Because if you take 260 times 2 is 2,520. Now this is why I need this thing. Let's do this. If you can't see, guys, I'm sorry. I'll do the best I can because I don't want to lose you. This is really important. So the biblical standard for a year is 360 days. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay. 360 times 7 is 2,520. 360 days a year, 7 years. These are the total number of days. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, that's the example given in the book of Revelation. So what's interesting about that is the tribulation period is 7 years long. These are the years. These are the days. Right? So if that's the case, then maybe the other weeks in Daniel's prophecy can be measured by the same amount of days at 360 days per year. So what does Daniel 9:25 say? From the going forth of the command to restore and rebuild Jerusalem shall be 7 weeks, right? So there's 7 days in a week, and 7 weeks would be this, right? 7 times 7 equals how much?
49.
49, right? Well, guess what? The 50th year plus 1 equals 50 is Jubilee. Okay, whatever, I can't spell.
Jubilee.
Right. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 1 year is the 50th year, which is the year of Jubilee. So this is a Shemitah cycle. Remember the Shemitah, it is the 7th year in a 7-year cycle. How long is the tribulation period? So it's a Shemitah cycle. But what's interesting, if you take this 360 times 49, times 49, I'm not used to teaching math, give me it, equals 17,640 days. At least I know how to spell days. Okay?
Sorry.
Now, here's the trigger question. When was Jerusalem restored to the Jews? What's interesting about that is God pointed it out to us with the last tetrad of blood moons. It happened on June the 7th, 1967. During the Six-Day War, during a Shemitah and Jubilee year, this actually happened. This is history. You can check your history. Any of this information I'm giving you tonight is not of private interpretation. This is not a personal dream, vision, or revelation. This is me learning the scriptures, looking through pattern, looking through the eyes of a Jewish person to try and help myself to understand them. And as the leading of the Spirit led me to this, I could not believe what I found. Because ironically, if you were to get a date calculator on your phone, right now, if you pulled it up, talk to Google and say, Google date calculator. If you did that, what's interesting is if you had a starting date of June 7th, 1967, 17,640 days later is September 23rd of 2015.